Freestyle, let's go, Nyla.
Give me a word. Tuna fish. It rhymes with itch. And what did you do? Send the kish.
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
What's the deal, YouTube?
Welcome back to our channel, everybody.
Yes, welcome back to Kicking It with the Callies. This is episode 6 of Chopping It Up.
If you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can get notified every time we post a video.
And today, our special guest is going to be my cousin Ryan.
What up, YouTube? What up, YouTube?
Anything you want to say to the camera before we get started?
Camera, I'm gonna say I'm the one he was talking about in that one episode. When he was like, I'm the role model. That's me. So I'm gonna tell you all about that today.
Nah, for real. Alright, as you know, on Chopping It Up, the guest can either pick the topic or the meal, and you chose.
The meal.
And we're going to be eating
Your favorite, which is?
Tacos.
Hey!
You feel me? Tacos!
It's not Tuesday.
Not at all.
They don't know that.
But whatever. Today's topic is going to be self-discipline.
Oh, perfect. Because if there's one person that knows about disciplining itself, it's not us.
You're so annoying.
Alright, let's get in that kitchen. Alright, y'all. So we already got a clean kitchen. Now it's just time to clean our hands and get into it. Alright, so which one of y'all gonna wear the other apron?
You can.
With an apron.
So how you prepare your chicken for the nachos, bro?
For the nachos,
Nachos.
me personally, I'm a spicy connoisseur. So I had to put the spices where they need to be. Spice cabinet, YouTube.
Black pepper. Blackened seasoning. Oh, babe.
Crushed red pepper. That's it.
Alright, so we got all the seasonings. Are you gonna dice it or are you gonna shred it?
What you think, Ryan?
The chicken?
Yeah.
Shred.
We're gonna dice it. Say no. We're gonna shred it, YouTube.
Alright, so we got shredded chicken coming for the nachos / burritos because I got burrito tortillas.
That's cool.
Alright, so self-discipline. First, for you, where did that start off?
So, for me, self-discipline started off a long time ago. Actually, with us both. We come from a family where discipline was real strict. You know, we knew we were gonna get in trouble if we weren't disciplined. Therefore, we had to self-discipline ourselves as well as each other to avoid the negative reconditioning. It developed me into the person I am in life today, and it really teaches me how to get everything going through my everyday life, such as right now, I currently have 3 calendars up in my house, and I stay alone. And I have actually I have 4, take it back. 2 monthly calendars, a weekly calendar that I update every day, and a daily calendar so I can make sure I'm going through everything that I need to do to become a better person each and every day.
I feel like I have self-discipline, but it's like it's such a mental thing. For me, I feel like everything is like you have to self-discipline. Like,
I'm sorry. Where did your self-discipline start?
I think I had a different childhood than you guys did, so mine didn't really come from like that. Mine came mainly with sport. I was never
Like
naturally athletic. Yeah, I had to work really hard to get like playing time and all that. So I guess that's kind of where my self-discipline came. It came from sports. Like if you want playing time, you gotta put in the work. And then with school, if you want the good grades, you gotta put in the work. So that's where mine came from.
For both of y'all, I guess it's kind of like 2 different ends of it. So we both also have a very deep sports history, but ours kind of stemmed from, before that. So do you think there's like different lessons learned from like developing it on your own versus kind of being taught the discipline from a parent or a family, you know what I'm saying?
I will start off with that one. I can piggyback off of Nyla, and I can say, growing up, honestly, our sports wasn't that hard. Like coming out the gate, Baby J was really talented at basketball, and I was real talented at football. We both tried to dibble and dabble in each other's sports. Didn't really end in our favor too much. But, you know, I'm the football dominant and he's the basketball dominant one. Football came really easy until I missed 4 years of football. Then I got to high school at Cass and had to play at a very, very high level. Missing 4 years after being, you know, really good, really set me back. And now I'm competing against people that's in the NFL now, people that's pretty much all going to college. You know, back-to-back championship team, it was really tough to, you know, compete against these guys on a day-to-day basis. So to go back to the self-discipline, I started off both in school and in sports, realizing that I was very gifted both mentally and athletically. So things started to come easy for me, and then I had to learn those self-disciplinary tactics, and I had to realize I had to go above and beyond to compete on a normal basis. And that definitely woke me up for sure when I got to college, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, YouTube. Look, I'm not gonna lie. When I got to college, I didn't know how to study. I kind of still don't. But
Man.
when I tell you I got to college and I was like, okay, I remember having a test. Get there. There was rules on the test, YouTube. I had to start to force myself to just repetitively go over and over and just keep memorizing different quotes. I kind of have a photographic memory, so I had like photographic memories in my brain of the pages, and that's how I got through the test. And if for some reason my mind wasn't focused, I wasn't gonna get through it, because I didn't know how to do that.
Do you think it's a difference from like what you kind of developing your own discipline because of like pretty much your passion for wanting to do, like to improve on something, versus ours was kind of taught at a younger age? Like us with our similar backgrounds versus yours, that you said is a little different.
So, only because I know a little bit about your background, I know
Right.
like where you guys' discipline came from. And it's like I did learn that. Like my parents taught me discipline. Like they taught me this is what's important, this is what you need to do to get the work in. I feel like it doesn't really matter where the discipline like background came from. I just feel like as long as you have it.
Before we carry on this conversation, let's get to preparing this chicken.
It's a certain somebody that I didn't realize did not reuse oils. So I just want to do a quick survey and know who does not reuse oil, because you should.
Alright, so while we getting that going, I'm gonna actually start to dice up some of the toppings.
YouTube, you gotta massage your chicken so it can be at ease.
Ryan first, what is some of the stuff in your life that kind of challenged your discipline the most?
Distractions, whether they be people, whether they be insignificant things or things that I just thought was important that really was never important. And me being kind of like the middle cousin, it kind of, and when I say middle cousin, I mean like I'm in the middle of generations, and I'm kind of like the oldest and then the youngest. So like with Jeff, like I'm like the oldest one out of our group, and then for our uncle Kaylin and our other older cousins, when you're a role model for your smaller cousin and your bigger cousin, it's kind of like they see you doing something, like okay, they look up to you for doing this. So it's like I know that I can't really mess up, because if I lack that discipline, then I will have people that's looking up to me have something that they can fall on. So if they see me fail, then they're like, oh snap, what's going on next? And they look at somebody else, and I don't want them to look at somebody else that's not really setting the best example. So it's just like you want to make sure that you're not doing everything just for you, but also for the next or the previous generation.
It's a mental thing. So mine is just getting in my mindset. Like I gotta tell myself like, okay, I know what I want is a long journey. So like don't give up. Especially in college, you have so much freedom. So you really gotta choose what you're spending your time on. So it's like, are you gonna study? Or are you gonna go hang out with friends? Are you gonna sleep in? Are you gonna go to class? Because it's your choice to do all of that stuff. Like nobody's gonna wake you up and tell you, oh, now you have class. You really have to have that discipline and discernment between what you're gonna do with your time.
So I know for like all three of us, we are some people who kind of like have like huge dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like we see ourselves getting into such a high place in life, not just financially, but like you know, even how Ryan said, like we have people that look up to us for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? So like, you think your goals is driven by your discipline, or your discipline kind of is driven by your goals?
My discipline is driven by my goals, because I want to eventually become a doctor. I know how much work has to go into that. I know the steps that I need to take. So it's up to me to decipher what I'm going to do and how I'm gonna get there, because I mean, it is a long journey. Like for me, I'm not struggling, but it is very exhausting. So I feel like my discipline comes with my mentality. So I really need to just tell myself, Nyla, you need to get there. If this step doesn't go right, don't give up. Like my main thing is I can't give up. I have to keep pushing.
I can come in and I can say that my goals are driven by my discipline, because no matter what, let's say if I had the simplest goal as to wake up and survive into the next day, I have to set certain standards and certain precautionary measures in line to be able to make sure that I survive that day. You can't have goals without discipline, like period. So I feel like everything structures upon discipline, and like I put it as simple as this. Even when you're working out, like you see people that go and work out and don't get the desired results, it's of a lack of discipline. Anything that you don't do in life is from a lack of discipline. Work never stops, goals never stop, nothing never stops. Cause we hot, we on the block.
Oh my God! All right, y'all. So look, we got this chicken season. So we put the oil on there, season it up real good. If it's nice and like that reddish looking color, that's how you know it's gonna be spicy. What's that?
And I had to switch to Cajun seasoning for the Old Bay because I thought the Old Bay was spicy.
We definitely wanted him to put that in there anyway.
You know, we got some diced up green onions.
Guess who did that? Rice.
All right, Jeff. So you answer that question. Are your goals driven by your discipline, or is your discipline driven by your goals?
I definitely can see both. So I feel like starting off, you know, younger, and I think that might have to do with my previous question about like whether or not the discipline was kind of like enforced in our life versus you kind of wanting it for yourself. We had to have discipline for everything we did. Like we had to wake up at a certain time, especially Ryan. So Ryan took the bus to school or walked to school since what, 3rd grade? Younger than that?
Kindergarten.
But like he had to walk to school. So in order to get to school on time, you got to get up on time to do this and that, you feel me? So like literally when he's talking about like every little detail pretty much matters in your discipline starting off young, right? But if you let that sit right there, then your ceiling is low, you know what I'm saying? So your goals makes your discipline rise, you know what I'm saying? Your discipline has to rise to meet the goal. I feel like, I mean, it's possible for the discipline to push the goal higher, but I feel like the goal being there is kind of like, you know, it gives you a reason to keep pushing and improving yourself. And as you improve yourself, like Ryan said, the goals grow. Which I will say though, for like the longevity of discipline, the goals drive the discipline for me. I'm gonna start this fire real quick. You want to put oil? You want to just spray it since you already got oil on the
Y'all
chicken?
got some coconut oil. Y'all know you see the hoop. Don't steal my swag.
Here you go.
Don't do that. Tell you, coconut oil. Start using more, you know, healthy stuff, YouTube. You don't have to, but I'm just saying it'll help you. The little changes that help you get to whatever goal. Find a better YouTube that when you cut up the chicken, it cooks better. Like rather than cooking a big blob, just cook like, you know, cutlets. Cook better. Thank you later.
Do you think it takes something different to discipline yourself mentally versus physically? So like Ryan, how you were saying people's fitness goals kind of flop due to discipline. Is that a different discipline than a mental discipline to like achieve a different kind of goal, or are they all one and the same to y'all?
I just feel like you need mental discipline to fulfill your physical goals. My fitness journey, like I gotta tell myself to get up and get to the gym. And if I fail mentally, then I fail physically. I feel like in order to have a physical discipline, you need to have a mental discipline.
I really don't feel like it's a physical discipline without a mental. It can't happen. Literally, you can't do anything without the mental. So everything stems from the mental. Mm-hmm. But what people fail to realize is, just like you go to the gym and you work out your muscles, they're not going to get big until you keep working them. Your mind is a muscle as well. So you have to continue to work out your mind, constantly keep it thinking, constantly feed it nutrition and good things. You don't want to keep feeding like toxins and things of that nature because it's going to slowly but surely kill your mind. If you want to realize how to strengthen your mind, literally look it up on Google. Just like you can be like, okay, Google, what's the score from the last Chiefs game? Google, what can I do to help strengthen my mind? It's that simple.
This question is more about the goal part of the discussion, not necessarily the discipline. Do you think your goals were kind of like formed because of a way that somebody else kind of influenced you to think, or did you kind of develop your own kind of thoughts as you grew, you know?
For me personally, I created my own goal. I don't think my parents ever said in my mind like, oh, you need to be a doctor. Right. I kind of made that decision on my own. But when I made that decision, they supported me and they guided me. But it was never them telling me you need to be a doctor. It was always, this is my choice. And they're like, okay, let me hop on the bandwagon. This is what you got to do.
I wouldn't necessarily say they shaped them, but they didn't give me the freedom to do what I wanted to do as well. I was told that I was going to go to college because it wasn't offered to them, so they wanted me to do it. So I knew, like, okay, I'm always going to college. I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to go to college for. I just kind of chose something because they told me I had to go to college. If I had the choice now and I had the mindset that I can think independently now, I would probably have not went to college. Or if I would have went to college, I probably went to a different college. I had different expectations. So I would have went to maybe an HBCU, been around people that's, you know, more like-minded. I would have been going to way more college fairs, way more internships. I just had a broader definition of what I truly want to do with my life, which I do now have. Just seeing how I was brought up, as well as Jeff was pretty much brought up the same way. Except I just got to watch more TV than he did. I'll get to that later. And versus like people like Nyla. But they were more like, this is the survival versus love. We was brought up on survival, like, okay, you're not going to survive in this world if you don't do this. Mm-hmm. So we brought up on survival versus Nyla coming up on love and everything like that. And it's like, not to say we didn't have love, but it was just higher balance. So it's like, they would rather teach us what's best for us versus allowing us to, you know, be free and creative and do exactly what we wanted to do with no boundaries instead of being shaped by society and all that other kind of thing. Like, look at Nyla, beautiful hair, locks going crazy, like crazy. And it's like, if she would have listened to like society and stuff like that, people would have told her, oh, maybe you should straighten your hair, get weaves, everything that, you know, appeases to somebody else other than what she wants to do. But now you see she's free, getting married, got a dog, got an apartment, know how to sing, all that.
College was always in my path, but the difference I feel like between me and them is I knew what I wanted to do when I got there. So it was always like, even if my parents didn't tell me you had to go to college, I probably would have still chosen that path for me. I think the difference is I always knew. I always had a path for myself, and you guys were kind of just like, I just need to survive, I need to make money, I need to provide.
Right. The difference between our environments definitely does determine mindset we had about college. It definitely helps to guide the way we thought about college and just the next steps, period. So both of our families was like, college is next, right? I feel like ours was like, you gotta go because we didn't go and they said this is better for you, right? Hers is like, we went and it is better for us for this reason and we just want what's best for you, you know. So it's like the experience we kind of had to learn on the way, throughout the way. Like you said, your family had to, like, they had a good idea of how to help you get through it, right? Our main thing was, how are we gonna get into a better situation, or how are we gonna, you know, be able, for real, like, you know what I'm saying, just improve our lifestyles. We wanted a bigger lifestyle for ourselves. And then for you, it's like, you know, it ain't even about the money, what would make me happy. So it was like, your discipline was like, do what you want to make yourself happy. Our discipline was like, you gotta feed yourself, you gotta feed the family, all this kind of thing. So like, that, I feel like y'all both definitely had some good insight, but it's a little bit of a difference. Let's take a look at this chicken roux, bro.
I wish I could bring y'all over here. I ain't gonna lie, it's tasting, it's fine, divine, sublime, and right on time.
And right on time.
Give me a high. Boy, you don't get.
When has your discipline been the lowest, and what did you do to like bring it back to a level that is acceptable in your mind?
Oh, me first. When I graduated college, I thought stuff was sweet.
Right.
I thought, okay, $50,000 job minimum. That's the minimum I'm taking. Wrong. Got out of college, stuff was not sweet. Post-grad depression probably was the worst thing ever. Luckily, I had established foundation on discipline, and I realized that, okay, just because I made it to this point doesn't mean that the work is over. So I had to grind and grind and grind, and I literally just got a good job 2 years ago. I graduated 2018, and I got a good job a year and a half later. Left East Lansing, came to Detroit, worked there for some time, came back to East Lansing, dibbled and dabbed in some stuff, went back. Like I was going back and forth. I didn't know what to do. My self-discipline was over, but I realized, I'm like, okay, sit down, sit back. I'm going to get this together. I had to cut out all communication with anything that didn't amount to me getting where I thought I wanted to be, and then just go for that. And then end up realizing I did all this to get a job for me to realize I don't want to work for nobody. So it's like it was a back and forth thing. I'm like, I did all this to work with somebody else to realize this is not what I want to do. Now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I've achieved this checkpoint. I don't like to say goal. I have one goal. My one goal in life is generational wealth. And that's in everything, not just money. So generational wealth and spiritualness, mentalness, physicalness. I need to be able to pass my kids down more than money.
Healthy habits,
everything. I need to learn as much as I possibly can to pass down.
I think my lowest point of discipline was probably when it was a depressive state for me too. So Ryan had post-grad depression, and I went through a short little stint of depression stemming from tearing my ACL. Tore my ACL in high school, and my whole life up until that point was the NBA. So that's all I really had wanted at that point in time. And I put in about 11 straight years of work, like physical work. You know, of course, school was a part of it. Mainly, I ain't gonna lie, school was only a part of it because you had to graduate and go to college to get to the league, pretty much. Like, that was my thing with school. I was smart. Like Ryan said, we was pretty much naturally gifted. You know, we didn't really have to work really hard in high school and middle school, stuff like that for the grade. So the school part was like, let me do this so I can hoop and get to the league. So when I tore my ACL, not that was the end, but that was the first time in my life where my structure was shot. Like, everything in life was built off of basketball for me. Even the way I wore my clothes, I wore bigger pants because I needed to wear shorts under my pants so I could be ready for practice. That's like how everything was like basketball for me. So then, like, my whole structure was shot off of a bad play. It was about a month of straight depression where I didn't even really think for real. Like, when I say I was like a zombie for a month, like, I would get up, I would go to physical therapy, I would go to school. You know, I was still I was still socially interactive, but I was like a zombie in my mind, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to, I wasn't there. So it was really hard for me to hear people say, you probably should think of a plan B. All I thought I wanted was the NBA. So to hear somebody tell me I need a plan B and to just rethink my entire life, everything I thought my life was going to be, that took me months. So first of all, get over just hearing it. And then second of all, I didn't accept it. So I went to physical therapy. I fought back out of the injury. I went back to playing basketball. Of course, I wasn't as high of a level, but then like that's where the mental discipline has to come in strong, because now my discipline of following this routine has been shot. But I gotta keep going. I had to find a way to keep on, you know, moving forward and figuring out a way to get through this. And I ended up realizing firstly that my main reason for wanting to go to the NBA wasn't even like because I love basketball. It was because they get paid a lot, you know what I'm saying? We wanted the money to get the family out. That was always the thing. So then I had to go, you know, when it came to college, I went to college for the money. What job makes a good amount of money? I heard engineers make $100K, something like that. Let me go to this engineering thing. Never took a computer class for real. Never took no type of robotics, like, you know, extracurricular, nothing. So I went in there and wasted pretty much a year and a half. And the discipline continued to grow. And it's still going to this point, but I feel like I got a good handle on it about year 3 of college. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so what do I really want? I need financial stability, and I need to be able to teach people how to be financially stable. What's so funny about that? I am a financial advisor.
At the end with the
you know what I'm saying? Like, so like everything literally fell into place, but that mental toughness to break through the depression and keep that discipline is what got me here.
Speaking of falling into place, look at that chicken.
So for me, I feel like I'm at my low point in my discipline.
Right now?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm in like limbo. I feel like I'm at a standstill. I know I'm gonna reach my goal, but at this point it's like, what am I gonna do? Like, how am I gonna do it? So what are you guys' advice for someone in a position like me who is like kind of low, and you guys have gotten through? So like, what is some advice that you would give for someone who is just working on themselves and needs that push to get their discipline back?
If you know me or anything about me, I'm not the type of person to read. I don't like to read at all. I'm reading books. So I'm currently reading a book called The Power of Now. It is literally one of the most influential books I've ever read. And this book literally is teaching me how to not live too much in the past. You have to literally focus on the now. Anything that's about sadness or anguish and stuff like that is too much in the past. So you really have to do nothing but live in the now, because that's the only thing that matters. Time is the most important thing. Live in the now, and everything else will work itself out.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm a piggyback it. Part of it is not dwelling too much on what happened, because it's too late to change. The other part of it is don't look too far into the future and be like, I feel like I should be here by now, or I should have been at this point by now. And then also, trusting the process is very important. I really believe in things happening the way it's supposed to happen. Everything happens for a reason. My personal advice to a person who's kind of in the midst of that slump, I would first say just remember why you started doing what you're doing in the first place, why you chose that. And then focus on what you can do right now today to get to that point. Your surroundings definitely can play a lot into it. You got to be decisive of who you surround yourself with on a daily basis, because they can feed into that depression or they can feed into that discipline. So that environment is such a very important thing that people don't realize how important it is. Coming from Detroit to East Lansing, not saying that East Lansing is necessarily better, but seeing how an environment can change your thought. It was huge for me personally. And I feel like if you can combine those things that we, put them together, combine living in the now and controlling what you can now with, controlling your surroundings and limiting who you allow into your plan, you don't have a choice but to break out of it.
Get friends that feed your hunger. Your hunger. Yeah.
Chicken is pretty much done. We about to go over there and shred this up real quick, and then we got the. I'm gonna actually start. Can you start taking the chips and everything out too, so we can prepare that?
You can have friends that you always have fun with and everything, but please surround yourself around the friends that inspire you. Every time that you take a leap of faith and you upgrade your life or upgrade a level, you have to get out of a comfort zone. Every time you feel like life is good, you want to sit back and realize, am I really where I want to be? And if you're not, then realize you're going to have to get real uncomfortable to go to the next step.
Yeah, that's a big thing. There's no growth in comfort. So if you're feeling comfortable, that probably means you're not growing. But it's really important to understand that stressful point that you feel is necessary to get to a new level. It hurts, You ever heard of growing pains? Like, if you ever went through a growth spurt, that growing pain isn't just a physical thing. Your mind, your emotions, as you grow, you are tested, and it's not going to be easy, because if it was easy, we all would be doing it. Everybody would have been doing it. So Ryan, he said he has a daily calendar, a weekly calendar, and 2 different monthly calendars. The thing about that
Sorry.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, you and Juju.
This is right underneath their TV. This is what I mean.
Literally see it all day, every day. But somebody who's deep into that limbo stage, that depressive, that not really having the discipline that you feel like you need, something that Ryan is good at is setting small goals. Because once you, as many small goals as you achieve, you get that much closer to your big goal. So if you do a daily calendar, every time you achieve a goal, you're that much closer to the next checkpoint. The daily calendar, you do everything on that calendar, and you're this much closer to achieving what's on the weekly calendar. You finish the weekly calendar, you a quarter of the way into your monthly calendar. To take some of that pressure off yourself, focus on the here and now, small goals. Before you know it, you'll look up and you'll achieve a lot of the big goals that you have set for yourself.
Go ahead, when you see this video, screenshot it, share it, do what you gotta do. Because the people need to hear the voice. You got a mountain of chicken, bro. A mountain of chicken.
Alright, y'all, so this food done. About to go ahead and say grace real quick and get on into it. Grace. Alright. Burrito,
Taco, nacho.
nacho, you feel me? Same contents pretty much. Let's just see if we like it, you know what I'm saying?
He pro his. I ain't really pro mine. Mine kind of like a little wet burrito. Oh. Delicioso. You might have did this something with this.
You like it?
Yep, taste the Kool-Aid.
I'll never go to Taco Bell again. Man. I can't hit that Kool-Aid. Wait a minute. Keep my left hand strong.
Yeah, man.
Ooh. Diabetes, I hear you.
Y'all already know how I feel about tacos. Cannot ever go wrong with a taco, bro.
I want to talk, but no.
So it's looking like another successful chopping it up here at Kicking It with the Cali.
6 for
Episode
6.
6. 6 for 6. You already know what it is. We talked about discipline, all forms of discipline, how to strengthen your discipline, and just the overall importance of discipline. Anything y'all want to add before we get out of here?
We talked about living in the now.
The power of now. Check out that book.
Check out
I'll
that
put
book.
the everything in it. Yeah.
Cool.
We'll get the information and put the link down below.
Just remember all the tips that we gave for anybody who needs to strengthen their discipline or improve on discipline. Just share this information with your friends. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Comment anything that was helpful or anything that you think we missed, and make sure you share it with everybody you know, so everybody can improve on their discipline. And just remember, like we always say, make every moment count, because a moment without intention
It's
It's an opportunity wasted.
Y'all heard.
Peace.